Mississippi Delta was shining like a national guitar. I am following the river down the highway through the cradle of the Civil War. I'm going to Graceland, Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to Graceland. Poor boys and pilgrims with families, and we are going to Graceland. My traveling companion is 9 years old. He's a child of my first marriage. But I've reason to believe we both will be received in Graceland.
Thank you. Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess, still happen now and then. Step into my heart. Leave your cares behind. Welcome to my world, built with you in mind. Knock and the door shall be open. Seek and you will find. Ask and you'll be given the key to this heart of mine. I'll be waiting there with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Thank you very much. Listen easy, you can hear God calling, walking barefoot by a stream. Come unto me, your hair softly falling on my face as in a dream. And the time will be our time, and the grass won't pay no mind. Saying nothing, lying where the sun is, baking down upon our sides. My lips touch you with their soft, wet kisses, your hands gentle in reply. And the time will be our time, and the grass won't pay no mind. Child, touch my soul with your cries, and the music will know what we found. I hear 100 goodbyes,
walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam, walking in Memphis. But do I really feel the way I feel? Saw the ghost of Elvis on Union Avenue, followed him up to the gates of Graceland, and I watched him walk right through. Well, that's all right, Mama, that's all right for you, that's
that's alright, Mama, just any way you do it, that's alright. That's alright. That's alright, Mama, any way you do. Well, Mama, she done told me, Papa done told me too. Son, that guy you fooling, wishing
I have a dream. My poor little children one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
Everybody gonna go sure tonight.
Down here with us under the boardwalk. Let's throw down.
When the sun beats down and melts the tar up on the roof, and the streets get so hot, wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. All up like you and my baby is where I'll be.
Under the boardwalk.
Out of the sun.
It looks like
reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me. I want to be a man cub, and stroll right into town, and be just like the other men. I'm tired of walking around. Oh, ooby-doo. I want to be like you. I want to walk like you, talk like you, too. You see, it's true. And it's like me. Can't learn to be human too.
Paige, isn't little bitty one, like this thing. Oh my god.
Now here's your part of the deal, cuz. Made a secret on me of man's red fire.
But I don't know how to make fire.
Now don't try to kid me, man cub. I made a deal with you. What I desire is man's red fire. Now give me the secret, man cub. Come on, clue me what to do. Give me the power of man's red flower so I can be like you.
Fire? So that's what that scoundrel's after. I'll tear him limb from limb. I'll beat him out. Yeah. Well, man, what a beat. Will you stop that silly beat business and listen? This was...
Now Texas in 1822, but in 1822 this was still Mexico, and so they heard about free land in Mexico from a man named Stephen F. Austin. So if you wanted to come down here, you'd have to give up your American citizenship and become a Mexican national, and you'd have to become a Roman Catholic, but just on paper, because you know, inheriting the land, you had to do that. You didn't have to practice, but there's no churches here. And then you had to be of good moral character. You can't be running from the law. You can never have been in prison. They want people who are serious about being here. And so if you wanted to just be a farmer, they would give you 177 free acres of land. We have 2 growing seasons in this area. We have spring gardens and fall gardens, so your family never goes hungry. Our main crop is corn. Wheat doesn't grow here. It's too hot and too wet. So our daily bread is cornbread. And our children spend hours every day grinding corn, cracking it into pieces for the chickens and the pigs, and then grinding it again into flour for bread. Our cash crops are cotton, and people also grow sugar cane. But if you want to run cattle, then the government will give you 4,428 acres because you need more land for the cows. And with all that land, you can also still grow the cash crops. So you can become quite prosperous here. Of course, your first house will just be shelter, but once you get settled, then you can build a fancy house like ours.
Like this one.
Yeah, our first house down by the river looked more like our smokehouse, very primitive, dirt floor. This is called a dog run because it has 2 cribs. It creates the breezeways where the dogs run through. You can feel some of the breeze here. The house is facing the prevailing wind, so it actually funnels through here. So when it's hot in the summer, it really makes a big difference to have some kind of breeze. On this side is the master bedroom. It's also where we work the cotton. Most of it we sell, but what we keep a little for ourselves. And then it has 2 kitchens. We have a winter kitchen in here. This is where we cook when it's really cold or rainy, but we prefer to cook outside in the summer kitchen because we don't want the house to burn. And then this is actually a 2-story house. So all the children and grandparents sleep upstairs or stairs here in the kitchen. You're welcome to go up there. It's very steep, so go up and down like a ladder.
Be careful now when you come with your boat. Wait, not us.
Shit, yeah, bed with some bugs in there.
See, that's where we slept when we were kids.
the Ryan Ranch. This is the home of my boss, Miss Polly Ryan. She's running some errands in town in Richmond today, so she's not around. But I'm her chuck wagon cook, Daniel. I'm looking over the place. I cook for all the cowboys. Now, being that y'all aren't from around here, you probably don't know of Miss Polly. She's an interesting lady in these parts. Because when she was 16 years old, she received 8,000 acres of land from a godfather. Now, that meant that in 1842, at the age of 16, she became a millionaire. Now, with that type of money, you gotta be mighty careful who you marry, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she finally made up her mind 3 years later and married Colonel William Ryan, a war hero from the Texas Revolution. Now, that was in 1845, the same year that Texas joins the United States. Now, before they got married, she did something slightly unusual. She made him sign a legal agreement. All land stays in her name and her control. She's the boss. Now, this actually turns out to be a good thing, because Mr. Ryan's not much of a businessman. Any business sense lies with Miss Polly. Because she took that 8,000 acres and expanded it and made a great deal of money. Now, that meant come 1869, where we are now, she's purchased her father's land. Now, he dies in 1861, but he doesn't leave a will. So there's 12 children. So the lawyer just divides it equal among them to avoid any issues. But Miss Polly decides to keep it together. So she goes to each one of her brothers and sisters and starts buying and back that land. Now, most of them end up selling to her. Now, that means here in 1869, if you look out on that horizon, in any direction, as far as you can see belongs to her, and beyond that. Now, up toward the river, don't know if y'all crossed that or not, but that's where we got all the farmland, because the floodplains, good fertile ground. We're growing corn, cotton, sugarcane, and tobacco. But out here, as you can tell, it's a lot of grassland and prairie, not all that good for growing crops. But it's good for raising cattle, and that's our biggest business. Because the northern cities are going through something of a food shortage right now. A lot of their farmers have moved into the big cities to work in those factories and mills. Well, we got plenty of beef cattle down here. They need food. We're going to send it to them. Only thing is, Abilene, Kansas, where the nearest railroad is over 700 miles away. Now, that means it takes us 3 to 5 months to get there driving 2,000 head of cattle. But once we reach those stockyards, we're selling them for $40 a head. They're only worth $4 here in Texas. We just made $80,000, which for y'all would be $1.4 million every single year, not including any farming and selling of those crops. And sometimes, if business is big enough and we have enough cattle, we might send 2 cattle drives a year. Now, they're making quite the pretty penny, aren't they? Well, there's lots of competition. So much so that a lot of the cowboys, they're only getting paid the same thing no matter what ranch you go to. There's an agreement among the ranchers, $15 to $20 depending on the skill. That's it. Your chuck wagon cooks, though, we're making real money. Because a good chuck wagon cook can bring in over $100 a month compared to the cowboys' 15. Of course, we're doing about 5 different jobs over the cowboys. We're the cooks, we're the nursemaids, we're the doctors, we're the money man, and the dentist, and your mama if you ever need one. Some of these cowboys are only 15 years old. 15 to 18 years old is about the standard age of a cowboy. Any older than that, and there are a few, but most of them by that point are married. We're not going to take a married man on trail. If he dies, there's a widow and child at home. We don't want that on our conscience. But a young boy got himself caught up in the reins of his horse and got trampled by a cow. That's his own fault. I mean, yeah, we'll feel sad as we're digging the grave underneath the shady grove of trees because it's hot outside. But we mourn it, keep on moving. And we ride his folks back home. If y'all want to go get his body, this is where it is. But it happens all the time on a trail. It can be rattlesnakes, it can be crossing a river, fall off your horse, fall into a rattlesnake den, or get yourself crushed between a couple of longhorns. They're about 1,200 pounds each.
Where's all these snakes coming from?
It's Texas. Things are bigger out here. That also means the things that are going to kill you. There's more of them. That's a little so. So instead I'm going to talk about the Ryan children.
Yeah.
Only 3 of them live to be adults. There's 9 of them. No. Unfortunately, there were some illnesses that came through the area, and they passed when they were real young. They couldn't fight it. But the 3 that survived are living up there: James, Susan, Elizabeth, and Mildred. And then right above us we have the master bedroom, and out back's the kitchen and the dining room. Special place right there. Now, in here is the parlor. This is where all the greeting of guests happens, as y'all are aware. It's also the ladies' room of the house, meaning us men have to be on our best behavior. I wrote her a letter when I known better and asked her to be my wife. Long chemical hit me all smatter, almost took my life. Oh, that girl, that pretty little girl, the girl I left behind me, the rosy cheeks and the chestnut hair, the girl I left behind me. Rode ahead to the place she said, and always there you'll see. She said, I'm through and you get through right back and you will find me. Oh, that girl, that pretty little girl, the girl I left behind me, the rosy cheeks, chestnut hair, the girl I left behind me. The monkey and the frog, the turtle and the dog, the chick, the weasel and the flea, the fuzzy raccoon, the ugly baboon, they all got a wife but me. Oh, that girl, that pretty little girl, the girl I left behind me, the rosy cheeks, chestnut hair, the girl I left behind me. Last night I slept in a sycamore tree with the wind and the rain all around me. Tonight I sleep in a warm feather bed with the girl I left behind me. Oh, that girl, that pretty little girl, the girl I left behind me, the rosy cheeks, chestnut hair, the girl I left behind me. Oh, that girl, that pretty little girl, the girl I left behind me, rosy cheeks and the chestnut hair, the girl I left behind me.
Legs were unable to help her get up and down the staircase. So they put her bed in here. They also built this little room, which was her privacy room. Her chamber pot was in there, and that's where she could also change her clothes. There may have been a little tub in there as well. This is one of the important rooms of the house, certainly as far as guests are concerned. It was always laid ready for a meal, irrespective of whether one has been finished. Be cleared away and the new items put on straight away for the next meal. Probably a little small for this room, so I don't imagine it was the original table in here. At the moment it's laid out for lunch. There are 5 items of silverware on the table. If it was dinner and there was some important guests in the house, then there may very well be 30 items of silverware for each person to use. Children under the age of 14 had to eat in the kitchen. They were not permitted to eat at this table. Mainly because of the thought of misbehaving and being accidentally responsible for damaging some of the valuable china that goes on the table. It's a shame, but as we know, McDonald's etiquette didn't happen until the, was it 50s?
Memories press between the pages of my mind. Memories sweeten through the ages just like wine. Quiet thoughts come floating down and settle softly to the ground like gold of autumn leaves around my feet. I touch them and they burst apart with sweet memories. of holding hands and red bouquets and twilights trimmed in purple haze and laughing eyes and simple ways and quiet nights and gentle days with you. Memories pressed between the pages of my mind.